Greetings and welcome, my friends. We march on. This is Mac Eels J. What is this thing? Is that a robot Octomom? We're kicking things off with a shuffler special, with triple snare, a bounce, and a helm. We're set to stop all their stuff, but this feels a bit too risky. Mull. Then we get a 3-lander with an authority, a battlefront, a helm, and a bay. This is much better. Keep. We'll send the helm on down. We can use the bay to fetch one out. We draw a snare, which is great, and we'll play out our authority to slow down the opponent. They play out a planisphere, and they'll get a token. They fire off a stock up, their token will grow, and they'll be able to grab more ammo. We draw a bounce, and that'll come in handy if we need to deal with their token. For now, we'll snare their equipment. Nice token you got there, bro. It would be a shame if something happened to it. They play out a Storm Chaser's talent. They'll get another token. This one will get pumped with every instant and sorcery they fire off. They follow up with a sleight of hand, digging up more ammo most likely. That's 4 mana for us, and we'll fire off our battlefront. Fire in the token hole. That's unfortunate. We get only a factory, but that's the first step to generating robot overlords. On top we have a land and a foundry. I kind of want to pass on the foundry, but if we keep it, we can use a bay to turn it into something else. Let's keep it. In fact, let's move it to the top. They reveal themselves to us. They play out a Vivi. That's the reason for all the little card draw spells. Originally, I was going to go with the foundry, then drop in the bay, but with a Vivi on board, we'll want to use our bounce. Let's play out the bay, and that will leave our bounce available to us. They fire off another stock up, and right now is when we'll go ahead and bounce their Vivi. They still have enough to replay it, but that will end their turn. They do replay it. All they've got left is to send in their tokens. With a robot overlord on blocking duty, we're certain they're not coming in for hits. We'll play out the foundry, then we can activate the bay and sacrifice the foundry. Let's grab a snare, and we can snag their Vivi. Enjoy the cage, bro. We brought it in just for you. Let's get in there. They block with their pumped up token to prevent the 6 spot. They fire off another stock up. They're probably desperately looking for another victim. No, wait, another Vivi. They play out a memory, it'll grow their men, but probably not fast enough to keep up with our robot overlords. They play out another talent. The token will enter tapped, and they'll have only one blocker available. They send in their token. It's leaving them without any blockers now, and we'll take the hit. All they have to do is fire off another cantrip, and we would trade. We want to go in for damages on our turn. We draw another authority. We'll play it out, then follow up with the second bay. They hit our factory with a bounce. We'll miss out on generating another robot overlord. We do get a sushi token, and that we'll be able to use as a blocker once it untaps. That bounce would have cleared out our men during their attack when we declined to block. We made the right decision. Let's send in one of our AI men. We can't win by defending, but we do need to keep a blocker back. They play out their Geralt. That's the other half of their combo. All that's missing is a Vivi and a Cauldron. They fire off a sleight of hand, and that will generate a token for them. That's another pair of life for us. They send their otters, not leaving anything back to block. We'll take on their biggest otter. If they have enough pump to trade, we'll have to accept the loss of our robot overlord. They fire off a torch the tower. That will get them the trade they were looking for. We are a man down, but with us about to replay the factory, we could use that to dig up more ammo. We draw a saw blades and we're about to cut Geralt in half. It's not a magic show where they pretend. This is real. Get gone, girl. We'll follow up with our factory outlet. Production will begin again on our very next turn. On top we have a helm and a foundry. The helm is fantastic at helping us generate robot overlords, but the foundry's time has come and gone. They level up one of their talents, probably getting a stock up. No, wait, that's a bounce. They use the bounce to deal with our robot overlord, but this is all short-term gain. They will not have a lasting advantage. It's like burning your house down to kill a cockroach. We'll activate our bay and turn the saw blades into another factory. With 2 of them on board, we should be able to keep up with demand. On top, we have a foundry and a land. Let's ship the land, but the foundry can be turned into yet another factory. We'll follow up with our helm and reap the rewards of having 2 synthesizers on board. Say hello to my little friends. We'll go ahead and station 1. That's all we need to unlock our Adagia, and we can use it to make copies of our key artifacts. They play out a Vivi. All that's missing is a Geralt and a Cauldron. They level up a talent to get back a stock up. No, wait, that's a sleight of hand. Stock up would have been a better choice. They will likely concede when we activate our bay and get a snare for their Vivi. Let's go ahead and play out the foundry, then we can use the bay to get a snare. Vivi will be just another victim. They were in it to win it until they weren't in it. That's GG's, extra robot overlord cheese. This is Sigmund Roy. No wait, it's Sigmore. We get to smoke a cig? We get a shuffler special with double Scryland. We do have a foundry that can let us play out our 3-mana artifacts. This is a bit slow, but it does have the tools to get us going. They play out a hired claw. Mono Red has come on the big show. Our Scryland shows us a battlefront on top. We'll send it on down as we really need a 4th land for the one we have in hand. This turn they go with an Ember Heart Challenger. It's a small guy, but it does have haste, so it can hit the ground running. We draw a Plains and we'll play it out. This will let us get our foundry down, and we can start to play out some of our artifacts on our next turn. They play out a Manifold Mouse, the long-forgotten former hero of the Mono Red from long ago. They give their challenger double strike, and we're about to take some damages. Our Scryland shows us a foundry on top. We'll send it on down as we really want that 4th land. We'll pass the turn. We have a removal and a bounce to help slow down the red men. Their play is a Scoundrel. It's another guy that can be sent in right away. They follow up with a second mouse that will be double the double strike. Their mouse gets double strike, and the challenger gets double strike. They're handing it out like candy. Before they send it, we'll bounce their hired claw. I don't want to bounce their mouse. They'll replay it with Offspring, and we'll be in worse shape. They send it, and we'll play out our second and final defensive measure. The Saw Blades will cut one of their men in half. We have to hit the challenger. It's bringing a 6 spot. We draw a bounce, which could help us out. This turn has to go to the bay. On our next turn, we'll be able to turn our Saw Blades into a factory or a snare. They activate their manland to give them lethality on board. They give their mouse double strike and to their land as well. We'll bounce their land, but we're still taking a 4 spot. We draw a Helm. That's not a 4th land, and even if we fetch out a removal, that still leaves them 2 men on board. Our options are limited, and even if we can survive another turn, we didn't get the cards to deal with their men. They want to stare. We don't have time, so we'll bail on this one. We take a step back, but we will fight on. This is Ed itch. Sometimes you have to scratch that itch, right, Ed? We get another shuffler special. This time we've got double authority and a saw blades to hold us up while we find more lands. We'll give it a shot. Keep your hopes up. They play out a gorehound. It's too early to tell if they're roots or sephiroth. We draw an Uthros. We're one land short of the 4 we need for the battlefront. We'll play an authority. They play out a zealot. Say hello to Sephiroth for me, bro. We will play out the plains this turn. We have to drop in the saw blades and cut their zealot in half. The Blood Witch arrives on scene. I would say things don't look so great, but these are all 1/1 men at best. We have to drop Uthros in this turn. We can go double authority and really stick it to their plan of trying to drain us out. They send it, and we'll take the 2 spot. It's amazing, but they don't have anything else to add to their board. We hit 4 mana, and it's time for the battlefront. Fire in the witch hole. That's a factory, and we'll take another saw blades. Let's cut their witch a new hole. They sacrifice it instead to draw a pair of cards. What really matters is that it's gone. On top, we have a 3 steps ahead and another battlefront. We'll keep them both and in that order. They finally drop in Sephiroth. For the moment, we go back up to 19. Sacrificing their hound will drop us back to 18. We're still in fine shape despite their small attacks and the gain and drain. This turn, I think we go with an instant synthesizer. Let's pass the turn and we'll see what they do. They go right to attacks and send in their Sephiroth. We'll fire off our 3 steps ahead and use it to copy our saw blades. That will take care of their key card, and if they want to continue their plan, they'll have to play some men out. They do throw down another Sephiroth. We get our second battlefront, and we'll fire it off right away. Fire in the Sephiroth hole. We get another factory and a helm. They likely did not bring enough removals for the robot overlords we're about to generate. On top, we have a foundry and a land. We'll pass on the foundry, but the land is more blue mana, which we do need. They drop in another zealot. If they want to maximize their men, they'll need to play out more men. But that gains us life. And they're losing the ability to get in for damages. It's a rough day for Sephiroth. They fire off an Oblivion to snipe one of our robot overlords. They'll have to sacrifice their zealot, which cripples their board. They follow up by burning a couple of removals to take out the last untapped robot overlord. That's a steep price just to get in for a hit. time to return fire. Let's send in our robot overlord and see how they like taking a hit. Damages, bro. Damages. We'll use a map token on one of our AI men. And that shows us a snare on top. Sephiroth will end up in a cage before it's all over. Their unsustainable business practices have bankrupted their war machine. They scoop it big. I like a good ice cream scoop. GG's, extra cheese. This is In-Ox AVG. Welcome to the big show. Please keep those things inside your boob armor. We get another Shuffler special with 3 defensive measures along with our factory combo. It is risky, but all we need is one more land, and we're golden. Keep. They play out a hired claw. That's how it all starts every time, isn't it? We draw a 3rd land, and for a second I do consider playing out the Scry land. An early authority might give us a chance to be able to play out the rest of our cards, though, so that's what we'll do. They send in their claw for damages. It's a small fellow, but it hits far harder than it would first appear. Our Scry land shows us a foundry on top. It could help us out, so we'll keep it. They drop in a Nemesis. Thanks to our authority, it enters tapped, so it won't have a chance to swing in. We'll play out the saw blades. That hired claw has got to go. Bro is stalling out. They don't even know how to bring the pain. They play out a needlehead. It's yet another annoying attacker that we'll want to cage sooner rather than later. We'll drop in our factory this turn, and we'll be able to start generating some robot overlords on our very next turn. This is such a vastly different game than our previous encounter with Mono Red. On top, we have a Bounce and a Verge. I do like both. More mana here will be fine. We do want to get to 5. That way we can play out the Helm and activate it right away. Let's keep both, and in that order. They play out another hired claw. It must be a claw convention going on nearby. They send in the Needlehead for some damages. The Nemesis has blocking duty for our non-existent men. We'll play the cage out. This will thin the herd. We'll snag the Nemesis and remove it from being able to hurt us in the future. Mono Red is having some fear issues from our Scry land. Don't stain it, bro. This is a family show. Think of my nostrils. They go down easy, and that's the final win we needed. All hail our robot overlords. We got there. Our march is complete.